let's start discussing the agenda for today. So what we are here to discuss today is the CUCET 2022 entrance exam, Central University's Common Entrance Test, which is to be conducted in the year 2022 for admission into central universities that include Delhi University, BHU, JNU, and all other central universities. So that is what we are going to discuss today. So we've seen a couple of recent articles in the leading publications about this exam, which confirm that this exam will be conducted in 2022 for admission into the central universities of India. Okay, so let's see what all will we cover in this session today. Date of the exam, tentative, pattern of the exam, difficulty level, how difficult this exam will be, what all universities will be participating, and what will be the weightage of this exam. Key points from the news articles that we've just seen. The first one, 42 central universities will be accepting scores of CUCET 2022 exam, which will be held in 13 languages between the month of June and July. Exam will be based on existing senior secondary syllabus of various boards. So you don't need to worry about what subjects did you have in the class 11th and 12th for the first part of the exam. So we will discuss that in detail in the coming few minutes. The difficulty level will be based on the senior secondary syllabus of various boards. So you don't need to worry about if you are, doing your schooling from one of the state boards or regional boards. The difficulty level of all the boards will be taken into consideration before setting the pattern of this exam. So it will not be based on CBSE alone or any other board. It will the authorities will take into consideration all the boards which conduct the exam of class 10th and 12th. The Ministry of Education will issue the notification for CUCET in the coming week, and National Testing Agency will conduct which will conduct the exam, will issue the dates and the application details also in the coming week. So let's be hopeful about it. Now, talking about the test pattern, according to the information on various news portals and leading publications, the exam is supposed to have two sections. One will be the common aptitude test, and the second part will comprise of domain-specific test. So common aptitude test, let's look at that, what all it talks about. According to the information available so far, the common aptitude test, which is the first part of the entrance exam, will be of 60 minutes duration and will comprise of these subjects: reading comprehension, number of questions will be 15, verbal ability, which will be number of questions will be 10, quantitative reasoning, 10 questions again, logical and analytical reasoning, 10 questions again, general awareness, and ICT. Now, what is this ICT? It's information communication technology. So questions related to GK and computer knowledge, basics of computer, information communication technology, which will have 5 questions, will be the last part of this exam, the first section, the first part of the exam. Now, moving on to the second part, which will be of duration 120 minutes. This will have 30 questions according to the sources so far. This will have 30 questions, and that will be based on the course that you are applying for. So the questions will comprise of that particular domain in which you want to, the stream in which you want to take admission. So there is no clarity on this so far. So for example, if we talk about Delhi University, so those who were seeking admission in the BBA program in Delhi University, so there is no surety as to whether this exam, which was earlier conducted, that is the DUJAT exam, will that be conducted or not? Will the admission be based on CUCET alone? So all those things will be clarified by the individual university. So Delhi University also will have its own notification, which will tell us that seeking admission into this particular course in the university, you will have to take CUCET along with one another entrance exam. Or it could be that the domain specific test that we are talking about here will take care of the earlier known DUJAT exam. So similarly, admission in other programs like BSc, BA, BCom, all those will depend on individual universities also. This will be a common entrance exam, which will be the basis for admission. Then each university will have its own individual criteria, and they will soon release notifications about all those eligibility criteria. Right. So, so far, all that we know is that the exam is going to have two sections: common aptitude test and the domain-specific test. The first section will be of duration 60 minutes and will have 50 questions. The second section will be 120 minutes, 30 questions. Now, the marking scheme, according to the information available so far, each correct response will fetch 4 marks, and each incorrect response will give you 1 negative mark for your responses. Okay, so not that difficult to understand. We are all of us are aware of the different entrance exams which are currently conducted for admission into various colleges and universities in the country. So talk about the undergraduate level entrance exams like DUJAT, then we have for Narsi Munji, there is NPAT, there is SET for admission into symbiosis institutions. So the pattern is almost similar in all these exams. So the subjects, let's get back to the subjects again. Verbal ability section, or the English language, it comprises of reading comprehension and other areas of verbal ability like grammar, antonyms and synonyms, parajumbles. All those things will be a part of the verbal ability section. And then quantitative reasoning is nothing but simple maths that you studied in school till class 10th. So that is what comprises in the quantitative reasoning section, wherein you have questions from number system, algebra, geometry, time, speed, distance, stocks and share, all those topics. So you've already studied all those subjects. So there is no need to worry about preparation of these areas, but we certainly need to master these subjects and these topics. So how do we do that? We will discuss that in coming few minutes. Then logical and analytical reasoning, which is nothing but coding, decoding, blood relation type questions. So all of you must have seen, pattern of some of the entrance exams. So this is primarily similar to all those entrance exams. And then talking about general awareness, there could be questions from current affairs. There could be questions from things like history, geography, polity. So all those static GK topics and current affairs is what we need to look at. And ICT, very basic information about computers. Little bit about the history of computers globally, and also things like hardware and software, information about hardware and software, the very basic information about computers. So this is what is going to be the syllabus or the pattern of the exam. Let's look at the preparation strategy for the CUCET exam, which is to be conducted in a few months. First thing, the most important thing that you need to keep in mind is early bird catches the worm. So all those who start their preparation early are the ones who get into the top colleges. This applies to all the entrance exams, be it the JEE entrance exam, which is to be conducted for admission in IITs and NITs. Talk about other entrance exams like DUJAT earlier, which was which was conducted for admission into BBA in Delhi University, or you talk about the postgraduate level entrance exams like CAT. So all those who start early get into the top colleges. This fact is a universal fact which nobody can change. So if you are planning to get admission in one of the top universities, you have to start right now. From today itself, your preparation should start. What all do we need to do? Let's look at that once. So revise basics, which means nothing but all the topics that you've studied. We've already looked at the different topics which will be a part of the entrance exam. So talk about maths, talk about English, talk about reasoning, talk about general knowledge. You have to work on your basics. If you're not reading right now, so let's first look at the verbal ability section. If you have to if you have to master this particular subject, the verbal ability section of the exam, one thing that will help you the most is reading. Read as much as possible, which will be the basis of mastering the area called reading comprehension. It will help you improve your reading speed, your comprehension ability. It will help you improve your grammar, your vocabulary. All these areas are going to be there in the verbal ability section. So reading alone can help you improve all these areas. And in bonus, if you're reading regularly, you are improving your knowledge also, which will come very, very handy in the current affairs section or the general knowledge section. So point number one, read regularly. That's something that you need to really work on. Second thing, we talk about quantitative aptitude and reasoning, or it could be data interpretation. To some extent, there could be some questions from data interpretation also in the quantitative section itself. Again, we have to wait for the official information about that. But yes, we have to start working on our basics from today itself. Talking about quantitative aptitude section, you have to first of all improve your calculation speed. You have to remember a lot of formulas. So let's start working on that first. What is it that you can do to improve your calculations? So traveling in a bus, sitting in the college canteen, start looking at numbers around you. In the menu card of the college canteen, sitting at the bus stop, the numbers that you see on the hoardings around, start looking at those numbers and start making calculations. So there is a concept known as Vedic maths. So we regularly conduct sessions on that as well, which help you improve your calculation speed to a great extent, which will help you, multiply 3-digit numbers within a few seconds, finding squares, cubes, square roots, cube roots of 5-digit, 6-digit, 7-digit numbers within a few seconds. So you have to work on those basics. You have to remember a lot of formulas. So in the description of this video, I am going to share very useful links with you, which will, one of those links will have a link to an ebook, which talks about the all the formulas of quantitative aptitude. So you can go to that link and download that ebook, which will help you revise all the basics and remember all those formulas. The next important thing which we need to talk about is how to improve our performance. So this is, again, a universal fact that all of us know: practice makes perfect. So what is it that we need to do? We need to practice as much as we can. Practice what? Mock tests. So for all of you, I have a news. We are conducting a national level scholarship test on the 12th and 13th of February, which will be based on the pattern of the CUCET exam, the part 1, the first section, which talks about the common aptitude test. So there will be a scholarship test conducted based on the same pattern on the 12th and 13th of February of this in the coming week. So link to that particular exam, how you can register, all that information will be available in the description in a few minutes. You can register and take the first mock there. And after that, you have to remember that practice makes perfect. जितना ज्यादा आप लोग प्रैक्टिस करोगे, जितने ज्यादा मॉक्स आप लोग सॉल्व करोगे, उतना ही आपका परफॉर्मेंस इंप्रूव होगा इस एग्जाम को लेकर. सो हर एक मॉक एग्जाम देने के बाद उसका एनालिसिस करना भी उतना ही इम्पोर्टेंट है. यू हैव टू लुक एट व्हाट मिस्टेक्स you made during the exam. So probably looking at the question, you could not understand some basic information that you might have missed while taking the exam because of the time constraint. But while analyzing the exam, there is no time constraint that you have to look at. So you can read the question, carefully 5 times, 6 times, and figure out what mistake did you make while taking the exam, so that you don't repeat that mistake in the next one. Right? And then it helps you, the detailed analysis will help you understand your areas of strength and your areas of weakness. So after taking, say, 5 to 6 mock tests, you figure out that, geometry is something which is not your cup of tea. So it's not necessary that you have to attempt all the questions from geometry. So based on the, historical data, I can clearly tell you that in most of these entrance exams, about 60 to 70% of attempt gets you in the top score category. So you do not need to attempt all the questions. So, for example, in the first section, as we discussed earlier, there are going to be about 50 questions. If you attempt between 35 to 40 questions, you can be one of the top scorers also, because there is negative marking. So we have to, very well take into consideration that I have to attempt only those questions which I am good at. So if geometry is not your cup of tea, let's skip that. Leave last few minutes of that particular section while taking the exam. Leave last few minutes. You will come back to that question, go through it thoroughly, and then try to attempt it once again. So this should be the practice that you have to follow. So take as many mocks as possible. That's it for the day about this exam. Just to come to the conclusion, one thing that we are sure of, that this exam is going to be conducted in the month of June or July. Official notification according to the National Testing Agency, which is going to conduct this exam, and the Ministry of Education, UGC, that information will be available in the next week. Most likely the application process will start in the last week of February or first week of March, and which will continue for about a month or so. And then the exam will take place in the month of June or July, depending on the situation around COVID and obviously the board exams that are going to take place. Good luck, all of you. I hope to see all of you in your dream college in the coming few months. Good luck once again. Keep shining.